Evening, everybody, and welcome to RFL. I'm Richard French. It's a big night here. Election Day, just 20 days from today. Final presidential debate just 3 hours from now. The stakes couldn't be higher. Trump slipping in the polls, time running out. It could make him even more unpredictable if that's humanly possible. Let's go live to Las Vegas. Lauren Lister is going to catch us up with the very latest.
Good afternoon. The candidates are both here in Vegas, and the stakes are high heading into tonight. The latest national poll showing Clinton with a 9-point lead over Trump. And for voters, this may be the last time we see the two of them together ahead of the election.
The debate hall is set. Hillary Clinton and Donald Trump out of sight, preparing for their Las Vegas showdown. But the antics among the candidates has already begun.
Tomorrow night's going to be interesting.
Trump inviting President Obama's half-brother Malik to be his guest. Malik lives mainly in Kenya and plans to vote for Trump. Clinton bringing Trump nemesis Mark Cuban and Republican defector Meg Whitman, both billionaires in her corner. Do the mind games work?
No, they don't work. I mean, it's a perfect place to do it is Las Vegas to have a stunt.
You're fired!
On the Strip today, a wall of taco trucks protesting outside of Trump's hotel, playing off of Trump's immigration remarks. On stage tonight, sources tell ABC News the Republican candidate will be aggressive in his approach, similar to the last debate. Trump already criticizing Clinton's stamina.
Now she's home sleeping and I'm working, so that's the way. It's the way it's going to be in the White House, too.
Clinton has been off the trail in debate prep, but appearing in this new ad out today.
My vision of America is an America where everyone has a place.
Tonight, she's expected to take on Trump directly over his claims of a rigged election and the women who have come forward accusing him of sexual misconduct.
Aides say she's also ready to answer questions about alleged emails hacked and released by WikiLeaks. Trump expected to ramp up attacks over her use of a private email server. And it all gets started right here in just a few hours. Live in Las Vegas, I'm Lauren Lister, ABC News. Now back to you.
And for more on what we can expect tonight, let's bring in our guest. ABC News political commentator Cokie Roberts joins us. Always a dangerous, if not an impossible question to predict in this election season. But any idea, does Trump go to DEFCON 12 or something tonight, or does he pare it back at all, given that the last two go-rounds haven't exactly worked out for him?
My guess is he pares it down, but it's possible that he's not able to do that. Everybody's telling him to do that, and he says we're going to be talking about the issues. That's what people care about. And it's true that people care about the issues. They also want change. And if he can convince people that he is acceptable change, that could work for him. But as you said, Richard, he hasn't been able to do that in the last two debates. He gets mad, he gets testy, he gets thin-skinned, and whether he's able to stay on the high road tonight is a very big question mark.
You've obviously seen the polls, you've seen the trending. You hear two different schools of thought from those in Democratic circles. One is this thing's going to be a blowout, maybe it won't be what we saw with Reagan-Mondale, but it'll be maybe the closest thing we've seen to it, certainly eclipsing the electoral count that Obama had in his two go-rounds. Others say, hey, you could be looking at the Bradley effect over here, or remember Truman. There is a path maybe to at least make this thing close where people don't admit they're voting for Trump, but come November 8th, they will. Is that posturing, or do they really worry about complacency, let alone there's a part of the electorate that doesn't want to admit what they're going to do 3 weeks from tonight?
I think that's entirely possible. I mean, take a look at what happened in Great Britain with the Brexit vote and in Colombia with the peace agreement vote. In both cases, the leaders were saying, do this, and the voters said no. And the voters had not made that clear to the pollsters ahead of time. So I do think that there is a populist mood abroad in the world, and that Donald Trump is riding that wave here in America, and that there could easily be more voters for him out there than are showing up in the polling, particularly in places like Ohio, Michigan, Pennsylvania. We'll see.
Conversely, though, you look at the map, we're actually talking about Texas and Arizona, let alone the Nevadas, in play for Democrats right now. And it doesn't seem to be empty talk, given where the surrogates are going to be spending their time between now and Election Day. So just as much as there may be more voters out there for Trump than the polls indicate, Conversely, we could be talking about Texas or Arizona, for crying out loud, or Georgia voting Democrat in November.
We could be. I'd be surprised in each of those cases. Arizona less so, but in the other cases. But we certainly could see them edging closer toward a Democratic vote, which would make a big difference for the people running for Congress, and in the case of Arizona and Georgia, the people running for Senate. But I think that it is very hard to have a blowout these days because people have become so partisan and so rigid in their partisanship. One thing we are seeing in at least one poll, the NBC Wall Street Journal poll, was that people said they would be more interested in voting for a Republican Congress if they voted for Hillary Clinton for president in order to check her. Now that's interesting because we have not seen that kind of mood in the electorate in recent contests. We've seen very strict partisanship, no ticket splitting. Maybe that'll change this year back to the way it used to be.
Last thing, are you concerned about some of the rhetoric? It's interesting, even some Republicans are trying to tamp down this thoughts of rigged elections. You even saw what Marco Rubio had to say about, standing back from using the WikiLeaks as part of a campaign rhetoric. It seems Republicans, we've seen it before, but especially in the last week or so, they're distancing themselves not just from Trump, but what he's also saying about the validity of this election. Are they right to be scared about what this place could look like in November 9th if the polls are right?
Sure. I mean, saying that it's a rigged election is an extremely dangerous thing to do. We have accepted the results of our elections since 1800 when Thomas Jefferson defeated John Adams, the first time that one party had thrown out another party, and we had a peaceful transfer of power. It was considered remarkable in the whole world that happened, and it's happened every 4 years that we have accepted the results of our elections. If for the first time a vast group of Americans says that the election was rigged and the president is not the president, that A, makes it impossible to govern, but B, puts us in a very third world sort of situation in terms of our country's standing in the world of democracy.
Well, who the heck knows what's going to happen tonight? We'll learn soon enough, but I always appreciate the time. Cokie Roberts, thank you again.
Okay, good to be with you.
And you're looking at a live picture here for where the actual happening in now less than 3 hours. This is the scene in Las Vegas, the Thomas and Mack Center. It's where the NCAA team, the Running Rebels, play, and I'm sure that has more than one meaning this evening. I'm going to bring on good friends to the program to break down what we think we can expect tonight and where we are with now less than 3 weeks to the election. What are the stakes tonight? Stay with us, everybody. We'll be right back.